buddy Billy Campbell from Blind Spot, and welcome to Blind Spot Spotlight, the first in a series of putting the spotlight on a filmmaker, people that you should know about if you don't already, or maybe you want to revisit some of their work. To get the ball rolling, I think I'm going to introduce one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. It's a chap called Errol Morris. He's a documentarian from America. Now, he started out in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was at film school and I saw a film called Vernon, Florida. And it's really just a beautiful portrait film that shows the characters in Vernon, Florida. It's hilarious, it's sad, it's uplifting, it's a wonderful, wonderful portrait of this place. Now, before that, he made a film called Gates of Heaven, which is a film about a pet cemetery. Let's take a look at him talk a little bit about it now.
Gates of Heaven.
Yes.
About pet cemeteries. This sounds like it's a little grisly.
Not at all. I think it's a very funny film. And although it's about pet cemeteries, one never sees any dead pets in the film. One is treated instead to a variety of different topics. Pet cemeteries is a setting for a whole assorted number of things that go on.
So it's just the framework in which your movie takes place.
That's exactly right.
The story is that he was working with Werner Herzog as an assistant, I think, and Werner said, "Morris, if you ever finish this documentary about this pet cemetery, I will eat my shoe." Now, true to his word, when Morris finished his documentary, Herzog cooked his shoe in a stew and ate it live in front of an audience, and they even made a short documentary about it. So let's have a quick look from a scene of that.
So I said to him, "You are a man who should make films, and you are gonna do that film now." And he said to me, "Well, I don't have any money, and nobody will give me money." I said, "That money doesn't make films. You just do it and take the initiative." And I said, "I'm gonna eat my shoes if you finish that one." And that's the moment now. I didn't mean to eat this shoe in public. I intended to eat it in the restaurant, but I was pushed a little bit into it, and it makes sense to some extent, because it should be an encouragement for all of you who want to make films and who are just scared to start and who haven't got the guts. So you can follow a good example.
Okay, fast forward about 7 years and he made a film called The Fog of War, 11 Lessons from Robert McNamara. Now, Robert McNamara is one of the most controversial political figures of the 20th century. He was Secretary of State with JF Kennedy, and he was in politics through the Vietnam War all the way through the Cold War. And the things that he saw and the things that he did and the decisions he made affected the lives of tens of thousands of individuals, hundreds of thousands, millions of individuals. And this documentary is a portrait of the man, because ultimately, the guy's just a dude, you know, he's going to make these decisions and he's going to live with these decisions. And the documentary is the first time I saw a thing he calls the Interrotron, which is a monitor placed underneath an auto cue. A live feed is fed into that of a person asking the questions, Errol Morris himself, and then that's pitching straight to the subject, Robert McNamara. So when he answers the question, he's looking straight down the barrel of the lens, which gives you this really immediate connection. It's used a lot nowadays, but it was the first time that I saw it, and it really blew my mind. I used it as a cameraman myself many times. And, you know, it's just proof again that Errol Morris is a documentary maker who isn't constrained by style or subject or look. He chooses and does things and reinvents himself consistently. I love that about him. I think he's an absolutely fabulous filmmaker. Check him out. Go and rent some of his films and broaden your horizons as a documentary filmmaker. But the important thing is, it is not just for documentary filmmakers. He is a filmmaker for all filmmakers. He has such an incredible way of harnessing a story, of corralling all the information, the interviews together and presenting a story like no other documentary maker I've ever seen. It really is an incredible craft and art that he has. And we as individuals are privileged to be able to sit down with a beer and a cream cake and watch it on the tube. That's Errol Morris.